Hello guys, Wahoo here, back in another video. This time around we are going to talk about the 50 hours I spent mining in the new biome, of course in the long shade, or also better known as the tier 15 was the newest zone down here, to get some of those trunks that we are going to also open in this video actually as well, to see how many we are going to, or how much we are going to get, because I have been saving them all from the mining, and this is basically my journey through those 50 hours of that. So it is going to be kind of a video where I'm just going to talk just randomly. I'm not going to have any sort of purpose other to explain the journey that I took. If you want to see a video on how to get to all of that, or how to get the mining operations, if you can say it like that, up and running, I do have a video in the description. I've also probably linked it already up here. You can go check that out. That is the upgraded or updated guide for farming these trunks, these boxes that are going to be mentioned in this one. I will do a few mentions on what is the whole setup and stuff like that in this video, kind of just talking about, for example, right over here, of course, our star chart, kind of talking a little bit about that I took some extra mining notes over that, so that's basically covering that. But I talk more about it as a tip in that video, but just saying that I picked some of this up for getting some extra ores. Not 100% sure if it works or not, but I'm pretty sure it's calculated per ore that you grind. So the more ores you get, for example, on Tuesdays as well, right? Getting it on gathering day, that's extra also with the Patreon. I think you are going to get more. I haven't confirmed that. I really felt there was a lot of inconsistencies with it. Sometimes I actually did 2 hours on a day. And doing 2 hours means that I went, of course, let me open this up again, went here when it had the Dunes Hollow biome. I'm probably gonna also spread in some footage of me kind of mining inside of that biome as well, because I felt like it was the best one. So I was kind of looking for that one when it was up. There is also linked in the description. There's a link to a site that a community member has made where it shows the rotation of when you can kind of plan ahead of when it's going to go. Very nice. I also put it on the other video, but that's also in the description if you want to check that thing out as well. But like I said, I think it is based on how many ores you are going to pick up, and if it didn't work, I still would get more ores out of it. So this one has, for example, a 15% chance to get additional ore when mining. It says mining here. Again, I don't know if it has some corner, if it has to be with your laser, right? Like, it doesn't specifically say that. So again, no matter what, it's always a chance to take on these, if it's gonna work or not. You really have to monitor it really, really carefully to see if it actually works. But it couldn't hurt taking it. That's the whole point of this. And it can't hurt to take it if it's with your laser or it's bombing, right? Which I did for that 50 hours, right? It just couldn't hurt. So that's why I picked it up. They can see my tree is not what it's supposed to be, because I picked up this stuff down here. There's also something called harvesting, which I don't know what harvesting means. If that means something to do with your those crops you get from gardening, maybe that is harvesting. But again, this says specifically ore, so that's why I picked it up as well. And, just kind of picked whatever, because I wasn't gonna, need it to fight very much. So I just went here and picked this up. I do have the most important notes. I do have all the light and such, and also, that stuff up here. So it's not really a big change to it. I could just leave it actually, but I'm actually gonna change my tree because I just want something better. But the main point was just, at least this one I definitely do know, because there's also one that says 15% harvesting. So not really know what harvesting exactly means, but I'm pretty sure it's tied into gardening. But I picked it up anyway, just to be sure, because I wanted to make the most out of this one as well. So that's kind of the thing with the star chart. And of course, the things that makes it whole possible is, of course, the rune anvil. When we go over here, that's of course when you have this unbreaking rune. So we can basically have that rune basically right here. You see right up there it is. This one basically gets you a chance to when you're mining resources, to get some of that. If you also have this one right here, so when you have this one equipped, you have a chance of getting, you know, minus Trove. That's the regular boxes. That comes from like the old ores. But if you mine some of the new ore, which is a deep stone, leech stone, and runic ore, you would have a chance to get some of these trunks as well. But it would basically break after like a very short while, right? So to kind of mend that, you would actually have that breaking rune as well as you have here. Then you have an hour, and it still works as that. So that's kind of how I did 50 hours of it. I didn't, you know, craft that many of those just to have it, but that was the way I did it. As how I did the 50 hours, and that's kind of whole thing about it, is that it took me 50 hours, actually 51 hours, because I did an extra hour because, you know, sometimes, you know, you get a phone call or something like that. You just, well, you can log out, but sometimes, you know, just quick phone call and just like don't want to log out and all that stuff, because maybe you're in a really, really great cave, right? And then you get that phone call, and then, you know, if you log out and it, you know, the world resets or something like that, you have to start over and you have to find a new one. And not always the biomes are not always 100% right, because it is shared with you know, 3 of them. So sometimes there was a lot of dunes hollow, but then sometimes there wasn't any at, well, there was some, but sometimes the other one was dominant, right? So you had to go in there, and yeah, so it wasn't super efficient. So that's why I kind of did 51 hours, because like sometimes it was in downtime and stuff like that. So I did that extra hour. I'm not sure if it compensated for all the AFK I was for the 50 hours, but it was definitely a journey that I definitely took, and it was very hard at the middle. I really struggled with hitting those 25 hours, and in some ways 50 hours doesn't really sound like a lot in sense, but it actually is quite a lot. Like, it's weird to think about it, because I started doing this at when we actually got the update out, and now it's been such a long time, right? But first of all, I was only looking for the Hallow Dunes, and it of course had to fit with me having time for it as well, and so on so forth. Like it had to all be connected to all of each other, so that's why it took so long. And you know, also I just completely died out on doing it. I lost all motivation to do it halfway through, at least, or maybe between 25 and 20 hours left, and it was just very, wow, yeah, it took the absolutely beating out of me, and I just really hated doing it at the end, because, but then I was like, I was so far into it, and I really wanted to make this video for you guys, and also because this is gonna be, this is of course my very longest video I've ever done, not in the what's it called, in the size of it, but, or how long the video is, but just how long it took me to do those 50 hours. And sure, it wasn't all preparations, but I basically, you know, in all those hours, I, you know, sometimes I was talking to friends, and it kind of, time flew by like that. But sometimes I was also alone, and then I spent time, you know, thinking about what I was gonna do with the thumbnail, what was gonna do with the title, what was gonna do with the other video that I was gonna do, the upgraded one, and also for this video right here, what was not really what I was going to talk about here, but just kind of the flow of it, surely, and what I wanted to implement and all that stuff. So I was really thinking a lot about this video. So it doesn't mean that it's the best video I've ever done. I'm not saying that just because it took a long time to do it, and of course it wasn't like working on the video, but it was kind of working on the video because I had to do the 50 hours. I wouldn't just fake it in and say, hey, I am going to do 50 hours or whatever, and then, you know, just bail out at that point. But I wanted to do this also because I hadn't set myself a goal like this in Trove for such a long time. I just, you know, buckled down and got the last hours done, and it was really hard at the end, even harder than it was at some points. But then I, you know, the hours were going down. I was kind of like, okay, I want to get it at, and I was also kind of on a tight schedule at some point because I'm going for vacation not too long ago. Then I'm going to be away for quite a long time. So I kind of wanted to finish all that before, I want to finish this video before all that. So it was kind of like out of the way, and I could just do my vacation and stuff. So that's what I did. I buckled down and I got the hours done, and I'm so happy that I did. I am very happy at the moment that it's over. I'm not gonna do another 50 hours. Whatever we get in these boxes, I will probably do the, you know, farming the 5-star ones instead of doing these. But maybe we should actually go and actually get ourselves the boxes that I found and I got just around 4,000. I was kind of, you know, crazy out that that's how many that I got. The funny thing is that I also farmed. I had like the, you know, I have the platinum blocks destroyed badge, and I hit that was 4.3 million. That is not only ores, that's also blocks, any blocks. So I was at 4.3 million. And now, if you go into my little badges here, if I go right here, you have the, you know, my face is probably in the way. So let me just get that out of the way. So it's much easier for you guys to see. And we go into the second tab right here and we hover this one now. I'm at 7.6 million. So almost double the blocks that I had before starting this one. And this one, that's, you know, 8 years. That's 8 years I've been farming things. Again, it's not only like, you know, let me just show you like this instead. Like it's not it's not only these blocks, it's of course also of course the ores. So it's not only ores. That would be crazy if that was that many. Probably sure I would have many more boxes, but of course it's also blocks, and I can't see which one is the most, and I should have, you know, done way more, like not optimization, but I should have just, you know, been more good at seeing how many blocks did I every time I'd done an hour. I should have, you know, conducted that from each other, and I could have done that. I definitely could have done that. That would be in a crazy number, but I could have done that where I've just like, how many, you know, ores did I get this time, and how many did like was that, and I could have done that every single time. I could also written it down how many I got, but I sold most of it on the marketplace. I think I sold some more. You see, I sold a little bit more. Mostly the runic stuff actually, because it is actually like this, where the lich stone is the most common ore, which will also have the lowest drop chance. But I think it kind of compensate for being more common, and then you have the runic ones that is kind of the middle. That's middle rarity as well, both in, you know, how many you get and also how many ores clustered there is. And then the deep stone is the one that is most, should be the most rarest, it also is, but also the highest chance of getting some of these boxes. But I didn't really feel like, the only thing I really, because you can always see what you get in, like, you know, your corner and that stuff, but I never really looked. Only looked when we got Deepstone, and I never saw me getting actually any boxes from that. So you should only farm. You should only take the Deepstone when you see it, because of it being in the highest value and stuff like that. Just because when it's there, you just take it, right? But also, it does have the biggest chance, so I guess it does. But I felt like I got most out of the runic ones. There was, you know, they nerfed this method like just right after we got the patch, that first patch, right? We have gotten the Kraken 2.0 and all that stuff, but it was crazily overpowered back before, like, because they did something with the numbers. The same thing happened with the 5-star dungeons. So we were getting too many boxes. That's also when you saw people like having 10,000 boxes you can farm in an hour or something like that, something crazy. And that is always, that's fixed. So those 40 boxes you see right there, that's from all 50 hours of doing the mining. So it's definitely nerfed. I talk about it being kind of the solo method and stuff like that, and it definitely is the solo method. It is a nice method. It's easy to get off the ground, and you can start doing it when you basically start in there, and you don't actually, again, you don't have to. There's different biomes. Some have enemies, some don't, but you can basically do it as soon as you get in here. So when you hit that 42,050, the 10,000 light and that such, you can enter here and you can start getting the boxes. Again, 4,000 is also a lot of boxes. I would suggest doing the group one instead, because you can do that one as well. But if you have people that can't defeat the enemies and you can't really help because you just started in, you know, that's kind of a way to do so. But the power rank that I have is, you can see right up there in the corner, should be able to do some 5 stars, not in a super amazing time, but you will be able to do them solo. But the point is that you rather would go with a group, because when you go with a group, you are going to be more efficient, and then that method of grouping is going to be better. So basically, I would say that the solo method is best if you are alone, hence the solo. But I would not suggest you going into the 5-star ones. I'd rather do this unless you really don't like mining, I think. But as soon as you group up with a couple of people, then it's suddenly really becomes more lucrative to get that one. Even out getting the thing from the anvil and stuff like that. There is some in-game, I would say, or later crafting notes in there that you get even more boxes out of when we get that one, and you group with a bunch of people, like a lot of people, like a full world of people. It just goes so snappy, and you just go from dungeon to dungeon, boom, 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 and then it's super crazy efficient when you're in there. But that's also way further down the line. But you can do this in the beginning, and then you can move into the other one if you choose to do so, unless you are again lucky and getting into them as well. But that was basically my whole journey where I, started doing this, and I kind of did it also. Why 50 hours? Why not 100 hours and such? It's because that every time I used this, I gained 1 level. So as soon as I, got to 300 after making 50 of these, I got this one, and because I wanted to do the whole, this method before when it was super overpowered, right? And then they nerfed it before I got a chance to do it. So that was unlucky. I was too slow. Usually what I was gonna do. But the point is that getting this up here, and then so why 50, right? That's because there is 50 levels from 300 to 350. Makes a lot of sense, 50 levels. But the point is that every time you craft the effect, you get 1 skill point. So that's why there's 50. There's 50 skill points, there's 50 hours. So that's why I did it. I could also just you can do them all in one go. You can just hit it to 50, put in 50 here if you have enough rune fragments. Then you can just do 50 in a row. I think it's, I can't remember how many it is. I can't top of my head. I can't remember how many it is. You probably already calculated it. It's at least 150 times 5. It's about 500, 600, 700, 750, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Never mind. 750 rune fragments. I have it in my rune crafting guide. If you want to see that one, it's also on the channel. But the point is that I just wanted to do this one and then get something out of it. That's what I mean. Like what you have to do, you can't remove the effect. So if you do 50 of them, it's not going to be 50 hours. You don't have to be online for 50 hours. That's not how it's going to work. It's basically just going to refresh every time you, so if you craft it once and then you wait a few seconds or 30 minutes and you do it again, then it will just refresh. And if you do 50 in a row, it's just going to be an hour, and you basically have to, I would say, BFK an hour or so. You have to be locked in. If you lock out, it's not gonna go down. And again, you can't remove it. So you have to just wait an hour or go do something in an hour. Maybe you can even die. It will remove itself. I'm not sure, but like it's just an hour. It doesn't have to be 50 hours. That'd be kind of crazy. What if I press craft right now? It's 126 hours. I had to be online to not get my runes crafted. So yeah, that's not basically how it works. But since there was 50 levels up there, I just did one every time, and then I got something out of that hour as well, and kind of got something out of my rune fragments instead of just blowing at them all on that one thing. So that's what I did, and then I again went farming for 50 hours, did in the Hollow Dunes, tried to do the whole cosmic thing, not cosmic, but cosmic, I mean a star chart thing, and just headed out with that. But I'm very curious on how much I'm going to get from this one here for the 4,000. If you think it's a lot of boxes, you should definitely check out Cash and Clean. I had him on my podcast as well, and he actually made a video where he opened 9,999 of these boxes right here, and he's doing all sorts of streams where he carries people on this one as well. So it seems like oh, wow, he gets a lot more than you do. But actually, by his calculations, or this basically my calculations on top of his calculations, I asked him how many boxes do he get from each world, and it basically syncs up with this one in sense of course, again, you get a lot more boxes in an hour, depending if you can get a group that is fast enough. That's the point. Like, this is basically going to be the same all the time. How many boxes you're gonna get from the group depends on how good your group is. So basically, it starts lower, you know, with the group, and then it exponentially gets better, and the other one just gets kind of stable. Because, like I said, I get around. See, I would say about 100 boxes per hour, but you don't, like, it's between 70 to maybe 80 to 100 boxes you get per hour, depending on, again, if it's going to be, you know, Tuesdays or whatever it's going to be, and if you're lucky and something procs and you get the right sort of ores and you are efficient and you're not AFK and your mom is not calling you and all that stuff, then you can do a lot better on these here boxes. So just wanted to mention that. So I'm just gonna hit fast. I'm just gonna open all 4,000, and then in this section right here we can see what we got, because I'm not gonna do one boxes at a time. That would just take this video crazy amounts of time. So I am just going to hope that I'm not gonna get disconnected by doing 4,000 of the here boxes. So I'm just gonna hit this really quickly. Ah, I didn't. Great, amazing. So we got some Lichstone, we got some runic essence. I'm really happy that we got a lot of runic essence, because I'm gonna need it for the next step. I don't know if I got enough, but I really wishing I would probably get more of these. These got some essences, some of the other essences. These are pretty simple to get. These are super easy to get now, because you can get it from really easily on the tree, on the rune anvil. If you break a rune, but you can get a lot of easy runes, you get actually these. So I actually have a bunch of these lying around. Ink bladders, this is the only way you can get them. This is for the new dragons. More essences, and these are the other 2 essences there is. These are the 3 essences you get from breaking that. Deep sand is of course from also for the new dragons, for the new dragon fragments. To get the fragments, you need these, and you ink from that. Of course, runic key fragments, those are for opening, you know, the deep vaults thingy, whatever thingy, when you do the 5-star dungeon. So that's from that. Then I got deep cores. 167 is pretty good. I'm pretty happy about these. These can of course still be sold if you want to do so. The one I'm mostly is, oh, I got 106 souls. Wow, okay, I am very happy about that. Deeps, the souls of the deeps are the most crucial thing. So 106 is actually pretty nice. Deep zone is I'm very happy about that, but that is really. That is also sad though. In 4 boxes, you can see here 4 boxes, I got 1. So there was sometimes when it opened one of them, there would only be 1 deep stone in it. That's really crazy. And then of course in the chunk of ore rooms here. Oh no, that was I think there was 4 in 1 box. Maybe this was 1 box there was 4 in, because it kind of seems like that maybe out of boxes. I don't know. The point is that this is of course not. But the most thing is that I got 106 deep souls, souls of the deep. That is the most important thing. That is the one that can't be traded. The cores you can actually trade, so I could just buy them if I want to. They're very expensive, but it is actually a chance to do them. So I'm very happy about the souls. 106. It's not an insane amount, but it is a very nice for me, because you only need like 750 to max out all your gear, I think, of souls, and still like that's still 600 from. But yeah, as you can see, if you start doing those groups, running with people, you know, opening 1,000 boxes an hour ish. I don't know how many it is, but if you can open that, then you should be good to upgrade your gear. But yeah, that was them. I'm pretty happy about that. Then I should be sitting at 405 essences, and you can see I do have a bunch of these here, but let me just show you guys. It's pretty simple as well to get the essences. This is like super simple. I mean, you get this one, basically you have to do this one completely. You're done with this one. You basically go up here, and then when you get this one, every time a rune breaks, you have a chance of getting one of the 3 essences. Unfortunately, not the runic essence, which kind of sucks, because This one right here, the runic essence, is going to give you this deep rune, and it's going to give you the most rune fragments, which is really, really nice. But if you do this one, which is super, super easy to do, so it's really good enough to get. But I kind of wanted, you know, to make 50 of these so I can get to the last part here and just get the 2 tomes here. But the point is that you can also do some of these other ones, but I'm probably going to do because I do have the essences for it. But the point is, I kind of wanted to do this one because you can see I have 100. And well, I only need 50. I don't know why I have exactly 100. Don't know why, but I only need 50. No, never mind them. You get these essences pretty quickly or pretty easily when you just break a rune like this one. So you can see this only cost you the rune slate and some of the cosmic dust. And every time you do have that, you are going to get that. And see, I've never farmed any of the essences. I've never farmed any of them. And now I also got a big boost to it, of course, but I've never farmed any of the essences. So getting that one is just, you know, you're just golden for essences. Then, of course, I got the rune fragments right there. Then you got the cord, almost 300, but I need a lot more than that. Then I have, you know, my souls of the deep. I had 20 before, so not too many on that. And then, of course, some of these for the new dragons, if I ever decide to do so. It's nice to stack up on these, and this can, of course, not be sold, any of these, but the cores can. I'm not sure what the cores is at the moment, if I can even see what they're worth at this point. Yeah, about 17. So 1,000 of them would be 17 million, which is not too shabby. I think that's a pretty good thing. I wish that they would bring back some events where we could farm these. We could do that like in the event we had with the up versus down, was it? No, that was the one before that. It was not the up versus down, but there was actually, you know, some dungeons, the obelisk, you could actually farm those and you can actually get some of these. And I wish they would just bring that back because it was just like, yeah, really, 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 really awesome. But I need about like I can't remember. Let me just check 2 seconds here because I have the numbers written down. For the whole thing, I need 6,500 of the cores, and then the souls, yes, the souls is 750. So it's still 6,000. So even you're seeing, oh, 300 is not, you know, but yeah, you need 6,000 of those cores. So yeah, a little bit far away from these, but again, they can be traded and they're not too hard to get. But the souls are still 750, which is going to be I think it might end up being kind of close to each other, or I think maybe you're going to get the souls a little bit faster and then you have to buy the last one of these as well. But maybe in the future, we're going to get something super more awesome than that and farming methods of getting both of them to a very nice place. So this was a very long video. I know, but I just wanted to explain this whole thing, you know, with everything. And if you're looking for like a more dense video, like, or more compact video, I would say kind of going over the methods and all that stuff, I hope you kind of clicked on the video that was in the beginning and is in the description as well, and checking all that out for a guide. This was not a guide. This is just more of me ranting a lot on how it's always going to be. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you check right over here, YouTube should have recommended you a video. It might be the video it just came from, or maybe it's a different video, but at least YouTube thinks that you are going to like this one. So go click that one, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.